right. Okay, welcome back to Realcast Fishing. Your host, Glenn, with the City of Adam Fishing Field Team, COAF Field Team on YouTube. And this round, what have I got for you? Well, we're talking inline spinners and 3D printed lures. Just give you a little update on things that have been happening since we last kicked one of these off. Earlier this, excuse me, I think earlier in the week, maybe Saturday, Sunday time frame, did the Little Red Book of Fly Fishing podcast, where we went through tips 86 through 90. Next one that we'll be doing will be 91 through 95. That'll be upcoming here in the next week or so. But for now, we're just talking fish ramblings and just talking things in general. And I tried earlier to do the ATEM Switcher Out and About series, I guess, live stream, and had some technical difficulties. So, hey, we're going to take a break from that and just go straight into the phone and just go live from here. So if you just joined us, mainly going to be talking about 3D printed lures and inline spinners. Yours truly just went the other day, and let's see, I got it right here. Made an inline spinner, and I used it to catch a bass. Weighed 1.86 grams. Okay, and that comes out to about 1/16th, or maybe a little bit heavier than 1/16th ounce. Right here, it's got the Panther Martin style blade, a little kind of metal body piece, and I'm using it on this casking, in correction, the Kingfisher feather flight on a ultralight Magic L handing rod, and that combo's done really well for yours truly, being able to catch several bass and whatnot. But hey, so at the earlier live, she didn't work out so well. So hey, let's have a toast to that. Having a little Voodoo Ranger Imperial IPA. Yeah, that took a lot out of me, trying to get that switcher going. But hey, this is much easier, this setup. I just plug right into the phone. I've got the PodTrack, the PodTrack, Zoom PodTrack connected in there, and I've got my Shure microphone. I did take the 3D printer and made a little flag for it, but I have no decal on there. I'm trying to convince my significant other to use her little machine that prints up different logos. I just haven't convinced her yet to do so. Anyway, let's go talk about inline spinners initially. So when I make an inline spinner, I initially take a shaft. It's a wired shaft, and I make it simple. I'm really using it for bait finesse, ultralight bait casting, and I go with minimal parts. So let me grab that real quick. Okay. And like I was saying, I keep it simple. Just got it in this container here. And I'll open it up. So there's several. Let's see if I can get this here. Y'all can see it. Or maybe I can push this over. Right there, maybe. Yeah, not so well. Anyways, let me lift it up then. Okay, so what I have here are these wire shaft. You can get them straight, or you can get them with the little bend. I sort of like them with this bend right here, and I've made them. It's very simple. It's a Panther Martin style blade. I do have some willow leaf blades that require a little clevis, so it's extra material, but I like this one because I can put this right on the shaft itself, right here, and that's already ready to go. Just put on the hook in the body and put the loop at the end on this end, and you're good to go. So I've got that in brass, I've got it in silver, and I've got it in two sizes. So right there, two sizes. And for ultralight bait casting, I started out with these smaller treble hooks, size 12, and they didn't hold up so well. I had a lot of strikes, but then they got off. And then what I find, the size 8 has been a good consistent one. I have used the size 6 treble hooks. These are both from Mustad right here. The size 6 being a slightly larger than the 8 right there. And I kind of like that 8 or that 6. Seems to hold up well. And when it comes to bodies, since I'm going with ultralight bait casting, 1/16 ounce or whatnot, I'll typically go with this one right here. Size 1/16 worm sinkers right here. So just the same thing that you'd put on your, like, I guess like a worm rig or whatnot if you're going to be bass fishing with some plastic worms. And so I keep it simple. This is the 1/16 ounce in a black color. And then I have one that's just straight lead that I'll paint. And then additionally, I picked these up at Hobby Lobby. Hello, Kevin Hassel. Howdy, howdy. Just talking some inline spinners. And these I picked up at Hobby Lobby, just a little barrel-looking thing that's heavy enough to keep it in that ultralight casting category. And then I did get these this last time, this kind of like cone-shaped thing that I've been using as well. But overall, I really keep it simple. There's that wire shaft right there, and then the barrel, the body, and then the treble hook. And I've been using that pretty much as my go-to one. I also use the Panther Martin lure itself, as well as rooster tails, all about the 1/16 ounce. Well, I have a good amount left over from trout season, but I've been kind of itching to these do-it-yourself ones. What rod do you have? I've got the Handing Magic L ultralight rod, the one that I picked up of Amazon. This is one that I used earlier this year for trout fishing, and I was using this particular reel, casting the 1 gram trout magnets. This is the 4.5 foot size, but I also have one in 6 foot that I've got on a Shimano Scorpion 17 BFS reel. Let's see. Can I have tips for bass fishing? I guess we can talk about that. Just overall, I guess this time of year, you still, at least here in Texas, we're still going through the spawn, so you have a good opportunity for sight casting to bass on beds. There's one video that I just posted, I think the last few days, or if not today, I think it was. It's a YouTube Shorts where I'm just showing how I kept missing on these bass that were on beds. What state are you in, and are there a lot of people? I'm in Texas, and yes, there's a fair amount of people. When I'm bass fishing highly pressured areas, I find that going ultralight seems to get more bites compared to if I'm going with some normal standard gear, because at least what I noticed here is in the heavily pressured waters, the bass tend to see lots of normal size, if not bigger size baits and lures shift over to these ultralights, and next thing you know, they're getting some pretty good hits off those. And so I tend to get more bass using ultralight gear. I have caught some good size ones as well from a number standpoint, but I guess this time of year, if I was just given one choice, I'd probably go with some Senko worms, set it up either wacky rig or weedless Texas rig, and put on some polarized glasses and start working bass on beds where they're spawning. So hopefully that might help what you're looking for. What state are you in, Kevin? I'll wait for the answer there, and then we can play it by ear. All right, and while I'm there, I'm going to have a little sippy sip of yours truly's IPA. All right. Okay, so from an inline spinner standpoint, I keep it simple. The shaft, the Pampton Martin style blade, because then I don't have to use a clevis to put it on the shaft, and then a barrel body or a worm sinker body, and then a hook. For the ultralight bait casting standpoint, I'm finding that the size 8 treble hook seems to go better than the size 6 that I've been using, and definitely better than the size 12. The 12 been pretty tough. Let's see, you like beer. I like anything 5% or greater. Okay, bet I'm gonna send you 100 bottles. Oh, nice. Okay. Okay, so the other thing is we're talking 3D printed lures. Let me just put this up real quick. So I've been playing around with the Anchor Make M5C, and I mainly got it not really for lures, but to repair things. Like I fixed an umbrella and whatnot, and what's my address? We'll have to talk offline. Here is right over there, somewhere over here, right there. Next to that Melly Tucker is the Anchor Make M5C, and that is what I've been using to make these different lures. And the most recent one is it's a rattle trap that I downsized to basically 2.5 inches or so, and then I made a gotcha style lure, which is used for Spanish mackerel. And here's the prototype I made. This one's been cut down to about 3 inches, and I use this to catch several bass. I tried using it with just one hook, and I ended up putting 2 hooks. And one thing that I do like about the gotcha style setup is this forward hook right here has this wire connection, so it actually can slide back and forth. What I'll initially do is push it up forward, but I'll get hookups and it'll pull the hook down, and it just gives you a little wider range to I guess hook up with those bass and whatnot. And this one, when you cast it, it actually is this isn't a hollow one. It's solid. The way I made it, I meant to make it a little hollow, but I didn't. Still learning the 3D printing stuff. But anyways, it casts well, and when you cast it, it rides tail down, and as you pop it and twitch it, it'll dive and move erratically, almost like a walk the dog technique. I don't think it was meant to do it, but it does enough to do those erratic moves side to side, and I've gotten several bass that way. Let's see. This one, okay, this is one that I saw someone make. It's normally a 6-7 inch size lure that's used for bluefish, and it's this one right here. Okay. All right. So picture this one being bigger, 6-7 inches, but instead now it's 2.5 inches. And I made it light. I did initially try one treble hook trailing, and I found that again, 2 hooks are better than 1, and I seem to get better hookups there. I also made, just tinkering around, I just used some paint. Let's see, you should sell those. You sell them, then I start feeling like I got work, and I don't really want fishing to be work. But anyways, what I did was I would take the lure, use some craft paint, acrylic, or just straight craft paint that you pick up from Hobby Lobby and whatnot. And let's see, what I was looking for was something to apply the epoxy so that it would be a nice, even coat. And you can buy these motors, or you can buy actual gear that will rotate the lure I think it's like 6 RPMs a minute or even slower. And what I noticed was one of my Christmas lights was dying, and it rotated the motor at about that same speed. And so I did a little modification, threw it on some extra plywood stuff that I had, and I started using that one. And so far, I've gotten some good results. Let me grab that real quick. Okay. All right, there it is. Okay, so this is a motor, or this is the housing from one of those Christmas light deals that shoots up a pattern on your house. And I took a little cap from a prescription bottle, did some not super glue, but hot glue, made a shaft for it, and I put a clip here, right here, and that's where I attach the lure, and I'll apply the 5-minute epoxy, and then I'll just let it turn, and sure enough, I'll get a nice even coat. I tried it before where I would just paint it on there, and then I would keep twisting it or turning it by hand, and that just got painful. And I had a lot of lures where it would kind of run on me. But ever since I started doing this, I hadn't had any issues. So if you decide to get into making your own lures and 3D printing, and then when you're painting them, think about that. Make sure you have something to dry them slowly. How long have you been fishing? Decades. Yeah. 40 plus years? Yeah. And I'm still learning. And that's the motto of our teams, COF field team, City of Island Fishing Field Team. Learn by our trials and errors. The intent here is we're average Joes. We don't have a lot of time or, I guess, money to take those long, expensive trips. Instead, we just kind of make do with what we can around here and accumulate things over the years. So I do have a lot of poles, but that's an accumulation because several years after, I think a couple of poles, I quit getting rid of them and just keep them. Let's see. So with that, from a 3D printer standpoint, things I'll be working on is I've got 2 more of these poppers right here, the bluefish poppers that I'm going to be working on. I got 2 sets of the gotcha ones that I'll be making, and I want to finish up this rattle trap. Right now I'm still testing it, trying to get the nice wiggle from it. I do have this microblade lure too that seems to be working well, but well, that's an easy one to make, and at the same time it's very effective. So I've made several of them, so I do have enough to get me through at least the next few weeks or so before I start breaking off and losing them. Because, yeah, you tend to lose a lot of lures when you're using 2-pound test and whatnot. All right. Anyways, at this point, it's open forum. If you have any questions, throw it out there. The question about bass fishing, some pointers. Main thing at this point is it's the spawn, so take advantage of that. Oh, by the way, things are going to heat up with the local lakes here. We're over here in North Texas. Our local lake, white bass, crappie, those will start picking up. And then, of course, I do want to get out there with my jug lines and set up these self-setting jug lines that I've made. And maybe set up and get a good fish fry going. So stay tuned for those videos. I just got to work out a few details so I can make that run to the local lake in the kayak, because we got some kayak fishing to show you this season. Pull out the John boat with that little Suzuki 2.5 kicker motor, and start hitting some different places as well. Make a run to the coast, make a run across the border to Oklahoma, see if we can maybe get some of these trout from the year-round fisheries that they have up there. Oh, and then additionally, there is this particular lake that I like over there in Norman, Oklahoma, Thunderbird Lake. It's stocked with sauger as well as saugeye, so it's a mix of the sauger and walleye, and I hear that they're a really good tasting fish, so I'm willing to go and try that one out here. We've caught one in the past, yours truly, along with another member of the team. And, well, It wasn't a keeper though, but we'll definitely look forward to maybe some of those videos here in the near future. We are dealing with rain lately, so that's kind of got things out of pocket. Some heavy storms and whatnot, but other than that, keeping things busy, keeping fishing things in our back pocket to include the 3D printing, as well as these inline spinners. Okay, right there, and that ultralight bait casting. I did do a video live stream, GoPro mobile fishing live stream, as well as the mobile fishing live stream. GoPro is where I've got the live stream hooked to my phone, and it's actually being videotaped from the GoPro, and then the other one from the mobile fishing live stream, I'm just taking it straight from the phone. I've got a harness now and a microphone to cut down on the wind noise, and able to get some good solid fishing in, and you get to see real time, some of the good and the bad when it comes to fishing. But usually afterwards, if you're not able to stay for the entire live stream, what I'll then do is I'll edit them and take out all the slow stuff and get you to the action ones. And I'm hoping that here I might have another one here in the next few once I'm out and about again. All right, so appreciate all joining. If you have any questions, I'll be here for the next few while I take another sip of my IPA. Here's to a Thursday rolling into Friday to close out the week. Oh yeah, and this Voodoo Ranger's pretty good. Imperial IPA. It's 9%. 9%. Yeah, 9%. Okay, cool. All right. Let's see. From a podcasting setup, let me go ahead and talk about that since we have time. Maybe those of y'all interested about starting up a YouTube channel or your own podcast. I'll tell you what, I've gone through the whole gamut of YouTube. When it first started, I started out with little camera. I think it was like a Canon PowerShot, and just got maybe a minute of video. And then later on, I had one of these flip cameras that you can connect directly into your computer. And I was just, using that to capture some of the action. And then from there, I just kind of shifted over eventually to the GoPros for some of the live streaming. But from a podcasting standpoint, that one I picked up just recently. Right here, I'm using the Sennheiser, same one that the Joe Rogan Experience uses, and I like them because I can cut out all the other background noise. I can hear myself clearly on the microphone or on the feed, and I can tell if I have enough, volume or whatnot, and it's clear. The other thing that I like using is I was thinking of different microphones, an XLR style microphone right here. This is the Shure SM57. Supposedly it's been around for a while, and you can really beat it up. And I put a little windscreen on it, made a 3D printed microphone flag, as well as this stand right here. These were all made with that 3D printer that I picked up not too long ago. And I set that right here. It's about, a hand length away, and I think it gives you enough volume, but at the same time, it's keeping you from hearing any distortion. And then the other thing is let's see if I can get this over here. Right here, I picked up one of these pod tracks, Zoom pod tracks. I was thinking about getting several different varieties, but this is the one I ended up going to mainly because I can connect my phone to it directly, and I don't have to worry about any complex setups and whatnot. What was your biggest fish you caught? Okay. Biggest fish was last year. You probably see it if you look up Galveston Fishing, COAF, or City of Island Fishing. Look into that playlist. Made a run to the coast this last year and caught a stingray that was it was wider than 4 feet, and I think the estimate was about 175, maybe almost 200 pounds. basically 9 of us to lift it up and get it onto the pier. And I would say that's the biggest that I've caught. And actually, that was 3 of us tag teaming, though. So that was a tag team effort. So I said that is the biggest, but I did have some help. Other than that, biggest fish myself, maybe 30-pound blue cat. Yeah, 30-pound blue catfish. That'd be the biggest one. All right. Well, thanks for the question. Any other questions while we're hanging out on a Thursday? Let me think. So recently, I've been fishing ultralight bait casting, going back and forth with the fly rod, specifically Euro nymphing, as well as pond fly fishing, since we're into the warm water season. And then I shift over to kayak fishing and kind of fishing the lakes and whatnot. Once we break through the pond fishing, season, I call it the season mainly because this is the time of year that I like hitting the bass on bed spawning in the area. But once I shift there, it'll be more hitting up the local lake and doing some kayaking. And what's nice about that is you get a workout in, and at the same time, you may catch a fish or two. Okay. I think that's all for now. Appreciate y'all joining, and this will get posted on our channel, and hopefully y'all can pick up maybe if there's any questions or whatnot that you have. Definitely reach out. I monitor the comments as well as questions and whatnot that come in throughout the day, if not week. And well, if I can answer them, I'll answer them. If not, I can reach out to other folks who maybe will have a better answer or the answer for you. All right, all for now. Next time, we'll catch you later. And good luck and good fishing.